This Supernanny episode points at video games like they're the smoking peanut, but the real problem on camera is way less tidy. It's supervision and inconsistent parenting, and the show keeps pretending that the console is the villain. I'm not here to make a messy TV pile-on. The family on the show let cameras into a chaotic time, and that's a hard thing to do. My take is specific. Supernanny Jo Frost is right to worry about age-inappropriate games, but she too quickly pivots from "these games aren't right for little kids" to "these games caused the problem." That's a storytelling shortcut that TV loves, and it distracts from the harder work that actually fixes families. Quick recap. Kids in the house are roughhousing, lying sometimes, and occasionally doing dangerous stuff while adults are distracted. The show highlights the boys' access to mature games and uses that as an obvious villain. Jo walks in, spots supervision lapses, flags the games, and then spends the episode helping the family set rules. That edit, problem villain fix, makes tidy TV not necessarily correct diagnosis, however. Games are a visible issue and a valid target for intervention, but they're a proximal trigger, not the root cause. The episode treats triggers as root causes, and that's where it goes wrong. The clearest, most immediate worry on screen is supervision. There are moments when children move into risky spaces without an adult realizing it. If kids can leave the yard or play unsupervised, the danger isn't the subject of the play, it's that they can be where they shouldn't be with no one watching. Think of it like a stage. Media can give kids scripts or props, but if the stage has no stage manager, those scripts get rehearsed and repeated out loud. Fix the stage, set the expectations, boundaries, and supervision, and the problematic behavior loses its rehearsal space. That's where durable change starts. A lot of the episode hinges on ESRB labels, the M's and 10 pluses. Those labels are important because they describe content: E for everyone, E10 plus for about 10 and up, T for teen, M for mature. They're advisory, they're not a parental parachute though. If you treat an ESRB sticker like a magical on-off switch for behavior, you're totally missing the point. So yes, don't put an M-rated game in front of a 7-year-old. Teach the ratings, use parental controls, lock the console down if you need to, but don't act like a rating label replaces supervision. TV loves a simple story. Kids play violent game, kids act violent. It's neat, but real life is a lot messier than that. What the episode often shows is short-term mimicry, a kid acting out a move that he saw, paired with a home environment that tolerates rough play and sends mixed messages. Mimicry is normal. Kids copy what they see, but mimicry alone rarely produces long-term behavioral change without an ecology that supports it. Inconsistent discipline, labeling kids as bad, stress at home, and a lack of structured alternatives. If you want long-term change, you fix the ecology, you don't just ban the prop. There's a moment of reactive punishment on screen, a humiliating, punitive response that shocks the viewer. Jo calls that out hard, and rightfully so. Shock tactics stop behavior quickly, but they don't teach self-control. They teach fear and resentment. Predictable, calm consequences work better for learning. Jo's naughty step model, consistent, calm, explained, is useful because it's predictable. Kids learn the pattern. They won't learn from a surprise humiliation any more than you'd learn a new language from a single shouted lesson. A few background patterns seem to be doing most of the work in this house. Inconsistent boundaries. The rules are fuzzy or applied randomly. That confuses the kids. Labeling, when adults tell a kid, "you don't think right" or "you're bad," kids internalize that and the identity will stick. And parental stress. Exhausted caregivers oscillate between permissive and punitive. That's predictable and treatable, but it takes time and support. If you repair those three things, access to a violent game becomes a much smaller problem. If you leave the ecology broken and only take away the console, whatever issue is happening is gonna find a new prop. Though, to be fair, Jo Frost does helpful practical things. She teaches the family to write clear house rules, she models calm follow-through, and she coaches caregivers on scheduled one-on-one time with each child. Those are exactly the interventions that produce short-term improvements: clarity, consistency, and connection. The show's practical bits are often the most useful. Reality TV has a structural problem. It needs a headline. Village saved from video games is a much cleaner headline than family slowly fixes inconsistent boundaries. So editors and hosts emphasize the console as the villain because it's visual and easy to narrate on camera. Well, that's storytelling, but it's not therapeutic. The result is a show that sometimes treats triggers like root causes just for the sake of narrative simplicity. If the goal is lasting change rather than tidy TV, I'd reframe it like this. Start with supervision, make sure the immediate safety gaps lead the story. Teach ratings and parental controls, which are practical tools for immediate enforcement. Replace the shock discipline with predictable routines, and model and rehearse consistent consequences. And name and address parental stress. Recommend resources and time for caregiver support, not just a weekend checklist. This reframing keeps the same interventions, but changes which problem gets the headline. It's less sensational and more useful. You'll often hear games are evidence-based risk factors, and you're not wrong. There's research on short-term arousal and modeling, but my point is practical and pragmatic. Risk factors are manageable when adults control the environment. Ban the wrong games, yes, but also do the harder, less flashy work. Supervise, set consistent schedules, model calm and creative alternative activities for the kids. You'll also hear, but the show did fix things. True, Joe's techniques work. The problem is not that the show is useless. The problem is that it often oversimplifies the diagnosis into a neat villain for TV. Be grateful for the tools and skeptical of the headline TV wants you to believe. Bottom line, the episode does useful coaching, but the camera loves a villain, and consoles make great villains. Don't confuse a shiny prop for a structural cause. If you want better outcomes, fix the ecology, supervision, rules, and the grown-ups patterns. If you like this breakdown, tell me which Supernanny episode or parenting moment I should pull apart next. And if you're a parent who tried something from the show and it worked, let me know. Practical wins are what people actually need in today's day and age.